So we all obviously watched the beatdown that occurred on Saturday afternoon at NRG Stadium in Houston. The Cleveland Browns looked absolutely lost, and Greg Newsome looked like burnt toast. And I'm pretty sure he still has not got off the bus for that game. And now, if you're the Cleveland Browns, where do you go from here? Because you have to pay Zadarius Smith, and you have to pay Jeremiah Owusu Koromoa. You have to figure out Amari Cooper. You're going to get Nick Chubb back. You got to figure out what Deshaun Watson you're going to get. You have to figure out the Elijah Moore situation. You have to figure out what to do with so many different things. Do you move on from Greg Newsome? Do you let Martin Emerson become the true number two behind Denzel Ward that he has pretty much blossomed into throughout his this season? He's looked fantastic. CJ Stroud is the worst man to man quarterback in the NFL, and we ran a zone the whole game. And we should have put Emerson on Nico Collins after Greg got burnt the first time. We made no adjustments when it mattered the most. We could not figure out how to cover a guy in motion. We looked absolutely lost, and Grandpa Flacco threw back to back pick sixes. And I get that maybe if he wasn't put in that situation by god awful cornerback play and secondary play, that maybe we would not have been in that situation. And you can use excuses like injuries and everything else, but the point of the matter is the Cleveland Browns went out once again and they disappointed us and they got our hopes up after a great regular season and they overcome everything only to go out and lay an absolute egg in the biggest game of the season. And where do you go from this? Arguably, everyone wants to say that Kevin Stefanski is the coach of the year. Why? What did he do in that playoff game that showed you he probably deserves coach of the year? No, because Dan Campbell went out, got his team a win at home. The Browns could not beat a team for the second time that they already beat earlier this season a month ago. And yes, I understand Houston didn't have CJ Stroud, but that makes no difference. We embarrassed that defense, and that defense made us look like absolute garbage on Saturday afternoon. Where do you go from here as the Browns? If you are the general manager of the Cleveland Browns, where do you go from here? What do you do? What is your next step to improve this football team and make them an actual competitor in the NFL?